The Utah Jazz have been on fire lately. As of when recording this video, the team has won 8 straight games and have come off a huge blowout win against the formidable Golden State Warriors, which has sent some sizable shockwaves throughout the NBA. In the process of this stretch, they're putting the league on notice, and fans are quietly becoming more curious about this underrated side and their threat for the crown out west. So, how have the Utah Jazz played so well this past month? What players are stepping up and getting them the big wins? And can this type of play last into the postseason? I'll be going over that and more in today's video. Before we start, if you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe. For more NBA content like this, I'm trying to hit 16,000 subscribers by February, so all support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, with that being said, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. Utah is currently 12-4 on the season and sits second in the Western Conference, only half a game behind the Los Angeles Lakers, who, to be fair to the Jazz, have played one more game than them. They've won 7 straight and it hasn't been easy competition either, beating teams like Milwaukee comfortably, Atlanta, Denver, and the up-and-coming Pelicans twice, as well as the Golden State Warriors today. Overall, it's been an elite stretch for the Jazz and has confirmed them as a serious threat for a home court seed once the shortened regular season comes to a close. But who have been the players playing well lately? What guys have stepped up and taken Utah on this league best win streak in 2021 so far? The first guy we obviously have to talk about is Donovan Mitchell. As though the critics are always in his ear, he constantly steps up to the plate and proves them wrong. For the season, Spider is averaging 24 points per game to go along with 5 assists, which at this point is a career high. He's also shooting well, about league average for field goal percentage, but is lighting it up from downtown, hitting 40% of his shots from 3. In his last 5 games, however, which have all been W's for the Jazz, he's been averaging even better numbers, over 26 points a night, 5 assists, and is shooting 50% from the field and 48% from 3. That's just a ridiculously good level of play, and it's quieting all of the doubters calling out Donovan right now. Mitchell is an integral part to this Jazz team and has been, in my eyes, the biggest factor for this great stretch of games for the Jazz. He's giving himself a great chance to get another All-Star nod this season and perhaps recognition on the All-NBA front if this play continues. And as someone who's a big fan of him, I hope it does because he's just been fantastic. Another guy consistently elite for the Jazz is Rudy Gobert, and regardless of the hate he gets for his lack of offensive skill at times, he's still highly important to this Jazz side. Gobert has continued his defensive dominance this season, grabbing 13 boards a night and keeping the paint protected at an elite level still, knocking back nearly 3 shots per game. Unfortunately, Gobert's inability to convert at the line this season has held him back a fair bit on offense. He's averaging 3 fewer points per game on the same number of attempts, as his free throw percentage has plummeted to below 50. I'll be the first person to tell you that Gobert is overpaid, but that doesn't mean he's bad or a negative for the Jazz. Gobert still provides plenty of opportunities in the pick and roll and helps the Jazz continue to have one of the league's best defenses with his elite level rim protection. So to say he is trash is a huge overreaction. He is barely an all-star, but he's still very good, and that shouldn't be ignored when discussing this team. An underrated player on this team, low-key making a case for the 6th man of the year, is Jordan Clarkson, and to put it bluntly, he's been phenomenal again this season for the Jazz. In 15 games, Clarkson has been averaging 17.7 points and 4.6 rebounds, and has been putting on a fantastic display shooting-wise, knocking down 49% of his field goal attempts, 42% of his 3-point attempts, and over 95% of his free throw attempts. To be fair, that's only on 2 attempts per game, but that's still crazily elite. His true shooting percentage is 62%, and that's by far the best of his career. If he can keep this up, he'll prove to fans he's one of the best second unit players out there and almost certify himself as the league's best sixth man in 2021. Right now, he'd have to be my favorite for the award. In his previous 6 games, excluding the one played today against the Golden State Warriors, he's been averaging over 20 points a night and has shot just as good as he has been for the whole season. He's been one of the most important members of this stretch for the Jazz. They've won 8 straight, and without his continued excellence in the scoring department, I don't think that would have been possible. We saw flashes of this player last season when he was traded to Utah at the deadline, but he's finally emerging as one of the team's core members this season, and honestly, it has just been great to see. Some other guys killing it for the Jazz lately have been Mike Conley, Royce O'Neal, and Joe Ingles. Mike Conley was brought in last season to be a secondary playmaker in hopes to reduce the offensive load being placed on Donovan Mitchell. It's fair to say it started pretty roughly, but things are going as smoothly as ever now. Conley's been the best he's ever been on the Jazz and is almost a perfect piece next to Spider. He's also dishing out over 6 assists per game, and in this last stretch of 8 games, that's been closer to 7 or 7.5. His impact is being felt more than ever right now, and it's clear he is having a positive impact on Utah lately. Royce O'Neal has been a perfect role player thus far as well. His grit and grind style of play, the hustle he constantly represents on the floor, has been crucial to the Jazz's success defensively, and he's filling his given role perfectly. O'Neal is aware he's not the best player on the team, but he also knows what he needs to do, and he does that consistently on a high level. It's why he often has one of the team's best box plus minuses after a game, even though the stats don't show why that is. He's a guy that does more than what's shown in the box score, and it's why he's a starter for this team. The final guy I want to touch on is Joe Ingles, who has been insane this season. Jingle's role is simple on Utah: space the floor and play some good defense, and he's done exactly that so far, if not more. He's currently ripping the net on over 53% of his 3-point attempts in his last 5 games, and for the season is still at an elite level of 42%, so this isn't even really that much of a hot stretch. As for defensive side of things, Ingles has been a statistical positive for the Jazz and is always ready to be tasked with an all-star on the opposing team. He's a big leader for the Jazz and overall young side, and time again can be relied on to hit a big shot in the clutch. These guys probably don't get enough recognition for their contributions to Utah's success lately, unlike Mitchell, Gobert, and Clarkson. So it's why I had to talk about them today, because in my view, they are all equally important to this winning streak that the Jazz are on. So those are all the key guys on Utah that I believe have contributed to their amazing streak as of late. But can they keep it up? Are they legit contenders, or will they fall off? To answer the first question, I think they can to some degree. I think by the end of this season, Utah will be likely to hold a home court seed, or at the very least a top 5 seed out west, because there's not many teams out there that I view as being clearly better than them, and teams that I think will surpass them during the year. Right now, I view the Clippers and Lakers as being better than them, but apart from them, I can see the Jazz being competitive with a lot of other sides, such as Dallas, Denver, Golden State, etc., which we've seen from this win streak. So from that, yes, I really think this team is a legit title contender, though they will be big underdogs for it. If Donovan Mitchell continues to star and their role players continue to prove they are some of the best in the league as a whole, there's no doubt in my mind that the Jazz can be a legit threat for the title in 2021. Is it unlikely? 100%. It's extremely hard to go past the Lakers right now, so Utah would need to have some huge upsets come playoff time. But if this stretch of games has proven anything, it's that Utah can take it up to some of the best. They comfortably punted away Milwaukee and Golden State. So whilst I definitely wouldn't put my money on them to win a series against a team like LA, I would definitely not count them out. Don't sleep on the Jazz. They're shaping up to go further than you might think. So overall, these are my thoughts on the Utah Jazz. They've been quietly dominating the past month or so, and it's time they got some recognition for it. I would have liked to make this video a week or so ago, but as I was away, I was unable to. But I'm glad they've kept this win streak up because it's given me a reason to talk about this amazing side. With Mitchell slowly becoming a borderline superstar guard in the association, and with Gobert picking up steam defensively and Jordan Clarkson having a career year, the Jazz look set to make a playoff berth and push some of the best to their limits. Will it be tough to go deep in the postseason this year? Probably. If I'm being realistic here, the Jazz are a second round exit right now. But if the Jazz peak at the right time entering a series, there is no doubt in my mind that with the talent and depth that they have, they'll be a team to watch out for in 2021. It's still early, so let's not overreact. But Utah has looked amazing as of late, and I'm very excited to see where they go from here. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? How good are the Utah Jazz to you? How far do you think they can go in 2021? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.